I love waiting all summer for that. Not the start of the season that we were hoping for, you guys. Manchester United lose 2-0 on the road to newly promoted Hull City, marking the first time in our history we've lost to a newly promoted side to start the season. It was an embarrassing display from United. There's no way around it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It was embarrassing. It was inexcusable. It was unacceptable. It was a shambles. But honestly, we still look like we're in preseason mode. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, you guys. We are going to dive into that today. Ian's decided to join me. He's decided to brave the emotions and come in here and vent a little bit. That's what we're here for. But we are going to react to the match. We are going to react to the performance. We're going to look at a little bit of the numbers, and we're going to share our player ratings, which could go really quickly or just really long, depending on how it goes. So I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts. So make sure you hit that like button, please. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for me, you guys. We'll be back with you in a hot second. Ian, my man, how are you doing? Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Do I have to do anything else? Can I make any more noises that are enough said? Yep.
We're done. It's pretty much just I don't like yell and stuff when I'm watching performances like that. It's just it's like the old saying, like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, right? It's mostly just me shaking my head and like doing this or like pointing at the screen like there's a run there, there's your man there, switch here, and it's just I don't even know, man. It's like I felt like the players kind of gave up after we went 2-0 down, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Glad to see you excited to make it. I know some of your plans got pushed back, so you got some time. It sounds like the wife is like, get it out of your system. And
oh yeah, I mean during the game towards the end, I got so angry with something. It wasn't picked up out of my in my hand and thrown. It was something on my lap and the thing, and I just threw my hand up like that in anger. Jumped up and I smashed the table and glass, and it went everywhere. And yeah, my wife she don't mind screaming and shouting, right? She don't mind me talking to myself and the TV. She'll let all that go. But when you start breaking things, she ain't having that. Like there's a level, and I got put it this way, I got my ass handed to me. That was it, and we were going out. But let's say about an hour before, she said I can come on and vent. She don't want to hear another
reminder. It's a good
word
reminder
of it tonight.
Football's not the deciding factor of your day, and it's temporary. Don't let it ruin your day, right? You can. There's an old saying in therapy, the 5-5-5 rule. Do you want to let this? Do you want to let this ruin your next 5 minutes, your next 5 days, your next 5 weeks? Probably not. Like let's just moving on. It's not easy, right? And it doesn't mean that we're just saying we're just accepting it because it, like I said, it's unacceptable. But it is what it is. But we're going to talk about. Go ahead.
I put in the chat in case I wasn't here that like I can't. I was once told if you've got nothing good to say, then say nothing at all. So basically, expect me to just sit here and nod for the next sort of whatever minutes.
That's all right. You could be naughty for the day. Danny B in the house says you might have to book an appointment with me. I'll give you guys a discount if you guys want to do it. Nota in the house says, like last season, we struggle against the so-called weak teams. I say we definitely struggle against the scrappy physical sides, for sure. And we knew that they were going to be scrappy and physical. We saw how many penalties they gave, how many yellow cards, how many tackles and interceptions they had last season. I told you guys what was going to happen, and what happened. But
absolutely.
Bexy's in the house, says overconfident, poor tactics. I'm just getting caught up in the chat, you guys. Jimbo's in the house. Big up, Jim. Good to see you.
Evening, Jimbo.
Hope you're having a good day. Mac Shannon, big up, says that was street shit. I agree. Yes, it definitely was shit. Yes, Trinity Red Devils back in the house. Big up. Appreciate that. And Timu's in the house. I think it was a natural result of a bad team with a bad manager. Sounds like we got a whole fan in here. So big up. And yes, like Danny says, hit the like button, subscribe, you guys. Check the memberships if you guys are new. Best way to get involved in the content of the channel. We have a WhatsApp group. You guys can get involved in the
that was dangerous last night being in there. Oh, that
which
was
that
so
proves easy
dangerous.
rough. And then Legends members also get early access to exclusive videos like the one I posted yesterday that went live for everybody on my number 10 replacements, if and when the time comes to replace Bruno again. Not me saying I want to sell Bruno. It's just you got to start planning for life without him. So
Hmm.
big up everyone. We are Jim says very hard to watch. Yes, it's very. You know,
Oh,
it's like I've said many. I can handle losing. Like it happens to every team, right? It's just part of. I cannot abide that performance, and I cannot abide two set piece goals as like that's just not good, man. The defending's been shambolic, but it is what it
non-existent.
is. Not much news to go over.
Non-existent.
The under 18s also lost this morning, 1-0 to City. Not on MUTV though, because Ineos. Just didn't get to watch that, which would have been a bummer. Would have been a bummer to watch, but I would have liked to have seen it anyway. But what's she gonna do? But we'll see. Um, all right, let's. Did you have any news before you want to dive into this match, Ian? Because we're doing player ratings today, you guys. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything today. So that little bit more talk about something to do with Balde, but I say just ignore that. It's rubbish. I don't want anything to do with it. So,
Yeah, I'm not really
um,
ready for Balde. I think
but
that's just
yeah,
not. Yeah, I don't think.
no,
I don't like you're saying. You don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's fit enough. Enough. So it's just
it's
you could
just no
take both of
thanks.
those, and it's just
Yeah,
why even bother?
exactly. Yeah, so I haven't seen anything. I think it's been quiet today because everyone was so built up this morning.
Yeah.
Every outlet, everyone's talking about us. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And then well, it's possibly the only good thing, the only some sort of hopeful silver lining in this is that they now must see the overly apparent nature of we need another number 9 and we need another some sort of different left back option. It's just it can't be not addressed now. And after that, if we don't want that to continue, then they must address it now because it will snowball, and once the season really gets going, there's nothing we can do about it.
I'm just making this a poll here. Before we keep going. So you say striker, right? Some probably say left back. Some might say center back. And then I'll put other because YouTube only lets me do 4. I'll put this in the poll, you guys. Based on this result, based on what we saw today, what positions should be the next top priority? Looking at this match, this performance, what position should we definitely make sure we look at next? So you guys get involved in there. Parth is in the house. Big up, Parth. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. We Mac Max says we are 19th in the table. Yep, the season's done. Right, 19th after the first game. It's gonna be fine. And I'm definitely gonna toot my own horn here. I definitely called this before we went live. By the way, Ian can attest to
Yep.
this. Literally verbatim what I said Danny was gonna say.
I also said if he gives any halves, it's going to be minus half, not anyone gets a half
Yeah.
up. Yeah, it was shocking. Again,
Um,
the only other good thing today was we didn't get beaten as badly as Spurs did.
I mean,
Let's all laugh at that. Let's take
it's
something out
Spurs
of it.
though.
Give me
Yeah.
something. I've got
Yeah,
to
and
take
it's
something.
funny that they've got because there was a point I was watching the second half of Spurs match and there was a shot they were defending like a set piece and literally 4 new signings of theirs were all in the box together like defending that set piece and I'm like you've got like over what 200 million pounds right there in the box. You got 50 million Van Hecken, 90 million Tonali, 85 million for Nanj, and Andrew Robinson. There was somebody else that they had recently signed to, and I was like, do you have all that going on, and you guys are just still so bad, man? I'm telling you. Spursy, though.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about team selection to start, because my big concern going into this was the fact that, Ahmad was not in the squad at all today, which I felt like we really missed him. I really felt like we really missed some of his kind of
Energy.
tenacity off the ball, his energy, his close control, and his ability to kind of carry that ball through these tight little mid blocks and stuff.
Yep.
Because I don't think Mbumo has that. Cunha has it, but I don't think Cunha looks sharp yet, unfortunately.
No, not at
Shesko
all.
on the bench, that was a good sign. Licha, Rashford, Mainu back in the squad. Heaven started for Euro. We're going to talk about Heaven a little later when we get to the player ratings. which I was not too happy with when I saw, but it is what it is. And then obviously Lacey on the bench, and he came on as well.
Mm.
Any thoughts on the team selection, Ian? We're gonna do player ratings in a second, so we can all
Yeah.
rant about Heaven in a few
Um,
minutes. But
I mean, yeah, I said apart from obviously the loss at Ahmad was nothing we could predict or worry or do anything about. So I don't see Cunha starting if Ahmad doesn't get some problem. Um, the only thing that I didn't like was Heaven over Euro. Apart from that, it was the team I would have picked. And yeah, I say there was not anything different. I think really, apart from Ahmad's late exclusion, changed it, but it didn't change it that much. It was just Cunha in. That was the only difference. But yeah, Heaven was a mistake from the start, 100%.
it was it was a surprising one. I thought maybe we were resting Euro, so maybe in that last game, so maybe he could get some time here. But it's just I think Heaven is just again, and we'll talk a little bit more. He's just showing me a little bit more and more that he's young, and so it is we're gonna see some of that, but it wasn't great. I thought overall we didn't approach the game very well. I thought, more that the same poor defending we saw late in preseason was once again. I know Danny was talking about today. Just all the goals from preseason were just simple balls into the box from a
Hmm.
cross or a cutback or something. It's just conceding two set piece goals is just frustrating. Like it's just, and I said this going into the preview. I felt like we were going to concede some cheap goals, and this is what I mean. Like these cheap kind of goals, man. And like I've said many times, I feel like I've said this over and over again. It's frustrating that in the preview, I'm not an expert, you guys. I'm not a coach. I don't have badges like that. I do have some other stuff, but I'm not. You guys know I'm not as tactical as some of the other channels, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I know my lane. I stay in my lane, but I could spend 10 minutes on Google, and in the preview, I told you exactly what hull we're going to do. Not because I'm a mastermind, but because I just spent time on Google. It doesn't look like
Not
we
hard.
prepare for these opponents whatsoever. We
No.
knew they were going to sit deep. Why would we move the ball so slowly? We knew that they were going to like make it hard to put a ball in the box. Why didn't we bring Shesko on earlier? And just like Everton last season when we had Amram here, they went up a goal. When a side who sits like that, who's very defensive and hoofs it long, goes up a goal, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to camp in.
It's not rocket science. It really isn't.
It's
It, it,
annoying.
um, no, we just weren't ready at all. Like, not in any way, shape, or form. We
Yeah.
looked like it was the first game of pre-season. Worse than that. Like, I'd honestly go as far as saying, and I don't know, anyone can argue this with me if you like. That's one of the worst opening games I've ever seen, ever. And what in the last since the gaffer left, that's the worst performance I think I've seen. I don't know, honestly, the worst. I don't think I've seen anything. You can go, oh, we lost to Liverpool this amount and that amount. That was different. That's mistakes and
This is
stupidness.
Hull. This
That
is
was
not the same.
Hull opening game of the season, and it was just not there.
Yeah.
None of our players, no fitness, no sharpness, no awareness, no nothing. It was lackluster and just completely and utterly broken from the minute one. And
Yeah.
I said before, it's I don't want to. There's no excuse for any of them. I don't want to hear. Oh, it was their first minutes, or they've been this. Well, Declan Rice played. I think he played nearly the whole game, and he played at the World Cup, didn't he? He played more minutes than Kobe Mainu. So how comes he can
Oh,
make that many minutes for Arsenal?
literally
But
everybody played more minutes than Kobe at the
yeah,
World
no,
Cup.
but this is the point. How can he be fit enough to do that for Arsenal, and Kobe can't do 10 minutes?
Donald Trump and Tom Cruise are on the pitch longer than Kobe Manu was at the World
Yeah,
Cup, man.
it's the fact is, it's the same for everyone. Yeah, Tillemans
Yeah,
looked like
I'm
he'd
I'm
never
not
kicked a
happy that
football.
I'm not happy that Kobe was given so much time off after that. I think that was
No,
like that
none
to
of
me
them
just
needed it.
was, and I mean we've talked about this a little bit, and I don't want to derail us too early on, but like I do feel like Carrick, from the outside looking in, again we have a limited perspective, right? That
Mm.
kind of stuff is another example of it. Seems like there's a little bit of a lax approach sometimes to the fitness, to the discipline. There's a lot of days off after matches and whatnot. Like if after today, there should be no day off tomorrow. Like
Oh, hell
literally, if
no.
I find out there's a day off tomorrow, like
No.
Carrick's going to lose a cool point or two for me, because that's
Oh
not
yeah.
acceptable.
So will
You think
Bruno
for
because
Alex
that's
to give him a day
unacceptable.
off after a performance like that?
They'd be training now,
Exactly.
not tomorrow. There would be no going home.
Yes.
Are you guys joking? All their cars
Yeah.
have been clamped. If you came out
No.
after that, no, it's
It'd be
pathetic.
tell the missus to order the takeaway because you're not going home tonight.
Yeah,
You're gonna
no,
stay here
no,
until you're vomiting on the training pitch.
yeah.
You are
We,
running like everyone's
that's what I've
running.
seen.
Because that's what we had to do when I was younger. You show up no matter which time you got to practice when I was younger. You run 2 laps. That's how you start. You run 2 laps around the pitch, and then to get to warm up, right, to get the blood flowing to loosen up, and then you run 2 laps after.
Yeah.
No matter what.
What
Yeah,
do they
fitness
call
is
it? It's
pathetic.
just reps week. It's reps
Yeah,
week. You're running reps till you're dying. And if that doctor says you're not, then you're getting back up and you're fucking running some more. And
yeah.
there's got to be that level. And I don't think it dropped off last season. So it's not like they don't bother with training at all.
No, they
Because
don't. It's
like we
just a
saw the
completely
fitness
way
quite
different
well
approach.
in the games last season.
And we're
So
going to
it's
talk a
just a
little bit. We're going to talk a little bit
oh,
about some of what a new signing has spoken about with training because I'm not too happy about it either. But it's yeah, the Hull looked more up for it. They were energetic, just like AC Milan. They were pushing us all over the pitch. They weren't giving us any time on the ball.
no,
And we helped them, right? We were just too slow. We played into their hands. We took too long to get that ball forward, which is exactly what they wanted us to do. And it's just
so many open spaces as well. Just
yeah.
like here, play the ball there,
Some of the
and it's
passing was atrocious, man.
over and
And
over.
there was a pattern where we had the ball and Bumo literally just played it right to an opponent who was just probably about 10 yards in front. Just played it right to him. It was
Giving the ball away repeatedly
it was
today.
not good.
Everyone.
Let's look at some numbers here to before we dive into the player ratings because on paper, Louis Van Gaal setting 72% possession. Look at that possession. So I'm again. Bruno claimed we gave them too much of the ball. We had 72% possession throughout the entire match. We did not give them too much of the ball. We had 21 shots, only 5 of which were on target, which tells you we can't put away decent chances. And we had like 3 dozen crosses, only 7 of which were actually accurate. And Hull made about 54 clearances in the entire match. We told you guys they were going to sit deep, they were going to camp out, they're going to get numbers behind the ball.
Yeah.
They trusted that, and this is our cross map, which, like someone said, the crossing was poor, crossing to no one. Someone in the chat, again,
Mm.
why do we cross the ball more in when Shesko is not on the pitch
Oh,
and like the shortest guy in our team aside from Ahmad and Bumo is the one is the target? Like I don't understand why
I know.
it's so backwards to me.
Yeah, I don't. It's like we're only allowed to cross the ball for a certain amount of minutes. Once we hit that many minutes, that is like off the table now. It's ridiculous. I've never understood it. I never understood why we put relentless crosses into the box, and then when there's opportunities to do it, we don't do it. We're such a backwards team with attacking like that. But it doesn't help when both your so-called wingers prefer cutting inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't help. We've got no fullbacks that like overlapping and putting a cross in. I mean, and not just me, but it's everybody wants a new left back. I want Raum because he'll cross the ball more in one game than we do in a whole fucking year. So, like, let's just be. We've got to deep it. We've got to reel it out. It's not good enough. Doesn't matter how so-called fit you are or whatever minutes you have or haven't had. Like I said, use this example, right? If they say, oh, there's a break between, they go on holiday and there's a break and they've got to get back into the rhythm. What? So they can't pass now because they've had a holiday. They can't pass the ball. So hold on. When a doctor goes away on holiday, does he have a brain surgery course when he comes back to refresh himself? No, he doesn't. He goes straight back in and can do the same thing he did 3 weeks ago. So don't give me any crap about, oh, I need time to get into it. It's a joke. Disgraceful behaviour from all of those players today.
And slow.
They shouldn't be paid.
And there was too many touches. Like we had so many opportunities when our fullbacks could have just put the ball in on their natural foot, right? But they opted to pass to the wingers, both of whom, like you say, are inverted. So it's just costing us more time. We're already moving the ball slowly. We're already taking too many touches. And now instead of just the fullbacks putting the ball in the box, who you want to put the ball in the box, pass it to Rashford, pass it to Mbuno. Both of them
Yeah.
are cutting back onto their right. It's like it's just cost. It's too slow. It's way too slow. If Shesko were fit enough to make it to the bench and come on in the 60th minute, he should have come on at halftime.
Mm.
Because spamming crosses to Mbumo and Dorgu just isn't going to work.
Is it,
Dorgu, we're
well,
going to talk about
no.
Dorgu. I'm really not happy with Dorgu today. Again,
We
I'm
should
not
have had
writing him
Obi
off.
on the bench if we're going to do that. At
Yeah,
least someone tall.
because this is what you're gonna. This is the only way you're gonna beat Hull today from the start is play that ball in early, or you're gonna have to just put it in the box for Shesko. I said that in the preview because they were gonna camp out. They're gonna do that. I think Ahmad. You said before we went live. I think Ahmad not being fit enough for the squad, whatever happened there. I think that really threw a spanner in the works for us because he is one of the few players we have who can unlock those mid blocks just through carrying the ball.
He'll go
And
past someone and put the ball in instead of
yeah,
coming inside all the time.
he's got
And
energy. He's gonna fight.
yeah, he's dangerous. The thing is, you see half those. Like I'm not obviously your stats aren't wrong, but the possession one shocks the life out of me because we every time we had the ball within 10 seconds we gave it away. So how we got that much possession, I don't know. But every single one of those crosses, I will almost guarantee you, bar maybe two, right? We have got to here, and then we've gone pass it to here to go back in like that, right? So the whole, if you pause it here first, the whole City defence don't move at all. Because there's a player here for a really good ball first time, we've got a dangerous opportunity. But the whole defence, no, we're not doing that. They know we are going to turn back and play it in there. So they don't even bother marking. They just kept their line every single time. It's like we give a play. In American football, they have playbooks, Sean, don't they? I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. The coach has got a playbook. It's like we handed it to the opposition yesterday at the presser. And just went,
Honestly,
that's
it
how
didn't look
exactly
like
what
we
we're
had
going
a
to do
playbook today,
every
honestly.
time.
I'd be
Well, no,
shocked
but
if
it
we had a
was,
plan today. It didn't look like there was a plan today.
yeah, but it looked like the plan was to let them win. And the first words out of Carrick's mouth was, "We came to win today." You fucking did not.
Yeah,
Don't
I
don't
don't know. I
disgrace
mean, look,
yourself with that kind of waffle talk,
maybe the
mate. Because
traveling
you
fans
did not.
came to win, but we did not definitely come to win. Yeah,
No.
Danny, like Danny says, I never said Dorgu is a winger. I've never
No.
disagreed on that. All I've said is this is just where Carrick seems to play him. So it's like Cunha. We can agree that Cunha is maybe not a natural winger, but we bought him to play the winger. That's where he's going to play. So it just is what it is. Unfortunately, and then you guys remember going in. I probably would have started Dorgu at left back today, just because I
You
think
did
that
say that.
I would have liked to see his energy, but it is what it
I'd
is.
I'd rather have a mass on the bench. At least he would have gone past the fullback at least once. Evening, Rob.
And
But
like Danny says, and like we said ahead of this, and this isn't even as strong as Hull side. They're missing a lot of their new signings.
I saw 90% of those players were making their Premier League debut today. By the way,
Yeah, they
that is
signed one.
that's a joke.
The one defender who came on, I think his name is Harrington. They signed him from MLS.
Didn't they sign someone 3 days ago and he played?
Yeah,
Come on, please.
embarrassing, man.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly,
let's see.
they all need a slap. They all need an absolute slap.
Timu says that
I
owners need to put their
joke
hands in their
today.
pocket and spend it. Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll see.
absolutely.
We'll see. Reportedly, according to Sully Talks, the Baleba stuff, his medical was done today, and all the announcements should be tomorrow, according to Sully Talks. I just
Will
read
be
a couple
now.
seconds ago. So, and we
Definitely
said
will
that
be
before
after
going
that.
live too. That Ineos were definitely going to announce this tomorrow because to try to get everybody back on side. You guys, don't fall for it. I know you guys are smarter than that. You guys won't, but I'm just reminding you. We all need a reminder now and then.
I said when we were warming up, and I called it at the beginning of the show. This is the only thing that I'm taking from today is this might kick their asses into action and realise if we don't act now, it's going to be too late. 'Cause what we
Well, it
thought
already
might
is
help.
too late.
Well, yeah, I actually said it myself when we're sitting there just before kickoff, and they're looking at the team and the bench, and I was like, we said it yesterday in the show. I was like, that's quite a strong bench for us. It's quite an attacking bench as well. We didn't really have that many defensive type of options.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm happy with that. But then when the game went the way it did, you look at the bench and you're like, I don't really want any of that coming on, to be honest. And then it's all of a sudden, then we haven't got any depth in that. He's instantly just got to go to Marcus Rashford straight away.
Yeah.
And then all I heard was, "Oh, Rashford's the saviour of this, and Rashford's the saviour of that." And I'm like, just pff.
It
You know,
was, yeah.
too
I don't
much.
think anybody could have made a difference. I think overall it was not. And you can't say we didn't have our chances. Like I said, we had so many crosses. We had 21 shots, 40 touches in their box. But again, a lot of the touches in their box were little extra unnecessary touches to sort feed out, to take, to try to like. There was. It didn't look like there was any confidence. Doesn't look like there's any assurance in
No.
themselves when they did get the ball in the box. There was a moment when Shesko got the ball low and just I think like a fit and firing Shesko would have just one touch turned and shot that like he did last season
Yeah.
again. I think it
We'd
was
have got a
Fulham
West
or
Ham
someone.
finish, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but
Mm.
it's just too many touches. Nobody seemed like they were quite confident in making
Uh,
the big play there. But again, that
mm.
was the theme of the game, right? Loads of the
Yeah.
ball, but it was just passive. I mean, this is our pass map, and you can see a lot of the passes were just it's the horseshoe pattern. It's just so
Shocking.
back along the back line. Most of the passes were from Mazraoui to Santos to Tillemans, or between Shaw and Heaven was the most prevalent
Yeah.
one.
Well, they
Like
were holding hands for the whole game.
it's just
Him,
not good
so,
enough. We made 574 passes and Hull only made 177.
look at the
Literally,
forward passes there. I mean, honestly, it looks like you run out of pen. You're like, did you run out of ink? Come on. I mean, it was bad, but the two
it's
best
not great.
chances that I think I don't know if anyone disagrees with me. The two best chances I thought fell to Mbumu, and both of them on his weaker foot, which is not an excuse, right? But both on his weaker foot, and I'm just like, why? And then Cunha gets a really good chance, and he tries to just cushion it into the corner. Control it and hammer it home. Did you see how hard the whole geezer hit the ball from 3 yards out? Because he wanted the ball in the back of the net. Mateus Cunha, like, oh, I'll just touch it. I'll just give it a little. So pathetic, all of them today. All bar Sesko. And I felt sorry for Lemons as well. But if it wasn't for him, it's 4-0 today, by the way. So
Simon
let me just
Kennedy,
put
I
that
know.
there. Big up,
So I told
Si.
you Jesco be in the squad, but you crushed me off. Well, I guess call that an L for me for not being able to predict the future. I guess I'm the first person in the history of life who thought a striker who hasn't been training and hasn't been playing in preseason, hasn't kicked the ball since May, wasn't gonna get involved in the match. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. Might as well cancel the whole channel at that point, right? Um, but yeah, too slow to move the ball, too many touches, too many back passes when there was a transition on. There was often times when Shaw, and you can see it here with Mizraoui, oftentimes they'd be getting, the fullbacks would get into really good positions. There was one in particular with Mizraoui. He got the ball, he was in space, he could have just driven that ball forward. We could have had a
Played it
transition
back.
on, and he just stops and plays it back, man. It's just, and all this is just giving Hull more time to get back in numbers, to get back into shape. And I mean, fair play to Hull. They were better. They wanted it more, and that's the one thing we also said we couldn't do going into this was not want it more than they did. And but
Oh,
they pushed and pulled
absolutely.
us. They 17 tackles. We only made six. Six
Mm.
interceptions. We only had two. They won 59% of the duels. They just wanted it more, which you just can't let a newly promoted side do. You just can't.
No, it's a joke. It was literally a joke. I can't use another word. I can't think of another word that's at least evening, Stephanie.
If it was a joke, it was a
But
bad one
it's
because I'm not laughing.
yeah, no. It was embarrassing, genuinely embarrassing.
Yeah, I
And
was embarrassed.
we knew the only place we could really hurt them was with our width, stretch it and get it wide and in the box. And like you said, we cross the ball all the time until our tall striker comes on, and then we don't cross the ball for him. And then every time, as soon as we didn't have Ahmad, we seemed to have no width at all. Dorgu spent his entire time in the middle, in front of Luke Shaw, so there was no out here. Cunha didn't know where he was or what to do. So I never ever want to see him play up front again. By the way, ever. It's just not his game. No way. Especially the way we want to play doesn't work. Not at all.
Yeah.
And as we lost any width, so the whole fullbacks went, ain't got to worry. Let's just tuck in a little bit. They tucked in like that, and we might as well have been this, in the trash compactor like Star Wars, going like this, because that's all we did for the whole game was
Yeah.
stop them. We did nothing to cause them any danger. They barely looked like they were sweating at the end of the
Yeah.
game.
We
Pathetic.
just didn't look too urgent. There's no hustle to get that ball forward. Like Stephanie says, no urgency, no goals, no points, no fights. Yeah, no excuses. You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Absolutely, Steph.
It's just not. I can't say it enough. It's just not good enough. Call it like however you want to look at it. Whether it's because we're united, because it's the first game of the season, because on paper we have the better squad because it's whole. Whatever angle you want to look at this from, it's just not good enough.
Mm.
The coaches did not look like they had any answers. Like, and what do you do at that point? Really, what else can you do besides get the big man on and just hoof it in the box? I mean, but again, it's you shouldn't be at that point. This match should have been like behind us, and by the time the first half was up, we should have been making a lot of subs, and we should have been off. Like we should have been
Mm.
off.
Or we
But
could have made it at half time. We could have just decided to go, right, look, this isn't working. Like Dorgu off, get Kobe on now, or drop Bruno deeper and play a three. Play 4-3-3. Not sticking with what doesn't work. The worst teams are the ones that believe their system will always just beat you and never change. Because if you're a team defending against that, you haven't got to worry because they don't change. But the personnel might, but the system didn't. So why
yeah,
don't we just switch to a three and go, right, look, it's not working with Cunha. You push a bit wider, you push a bit wider, and you just go right up there. And Bruno will sit. Andre can go a bit deeper, and we'll have Tillemans, and they're like an inverted triangle. And we could have controlled more of the ball, but no, we stick to the same thing, and then the lesser players come on, and they do even less than the players before, which I didn't think was possible. So it was
it
just
was not.
atrocious.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's hard to you can't really pin this on anybody, right? It's just everybody just didn't look great today, unfortunately. But
Mm.
guys, we're gonna dive into the player ratings. I know it's not gonna be fun, and like Danny said, nobody probably gets more than a two. I mean, Senna Lamans really didn't do much wrong either, but again, it's just
No.
what are you gonna do? But guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet done so. If you are watching on X, please consider jumping over and doing so as well. It does help the channel grow and reach more people. If we can get to 20 likes while we're live, I will go ahead and throw out 5 memberships. So guys, keep me honest in there because I will forget to
Uh,
look, and then make sure you get
Steph
involved in
says she will.
get involved in the poll. Let me see where that poll's at right now.
What were the choices? I forgot.
Said after this result, which position should be our top priority? I definitely had some typos there. I can only see half of it because I've got it on my other screen.
So priority, you mean as in next or the most
Yes,
expensive about
the
signings?
most important signing in these is priority. Just
It's a
what,
striker,
well,
100%.
so far,
100% because we haven't got
46%
another one.
so far 46% of the votes are for a left back, and then the rest of them are split between striker and center back, and then 8% voted others. So people still want a left back after today. Um,
Well, I want a left back, but I just think we need a striker more.
yeah. Let's see here. Stephanie says
Watkins
left
up
back,
front
left
today,
back, left
different
back,
game.
left back. I mean, I would have liked to have seen him start or Shesko start, but it is what it is. Let's do his player ratings. I know it's not going to be fun, you guys. Let's start with Senna Lamans. I do feel like he was a bit let down by his defense
Hugely.
today in the last couple matches as well. I think we were just sloppy 6s and 7s, ball watching.
Mm.
But I am a little frustrated with how frequently he was playing. He was playing it long. I'm frustrated why he just kept hoofing it when it just wasn't really working for him. It's not his best attribute. Like, let's roll that ball wide, let's throw it wide, let's get it forward. But it's just you're holding it, and then you just kick it. It just doesn't make sense. What would you guys? What are your thoughts on Lamans, and what would you give him as a rating today?
I mean, I'm probably gonna give him one of the highest ratings that anyone's gonna get on the whole team. So I'm gonna give him an average 5, right? And the reason I'm giving him an average 5 is because I don't think he did anything particularly wrong. I mean, their first goal, he somehow keeps that ball off the line. They've
Yeah,
shown it doesn't go in. And what can he do about the second one? It should be one of our defenders should be there, but there you
yeah,
go. There's nothing, and absolutely nothing he can do about the second goal. Zero. It's touched in at that speed from about 3 yards out. 5 of our players are in front of him, so no blame there. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, it's 4-0 today. Because we had one of those cross shot things again, which he tipped over the bar, and then that save from McBurney early on with a header. Both
yeah,
great saves. Without them, it's 4-0.
yeah.
You know, so he's the only one that deserves some credit. Comes out of that game with any sort of
Five is
credit in the
probably
bank.
fair. He
Well,
definitely
it's average, isn't it?
yeah, it's average. I mean, he definitely needs to work on his distribution, and I'm not blaming him for anything. But every
No,
time I watch him kick
He's
a
got to
long
be
ball.
being
It's just
told
not.
that, though, isn't he, Sean?
Yeah, it's
He
just
must
not
be
great.
being told that's a tactic. Otherwise, he's not going to just boot it because he'd be getting bollocked.
If you're gonna do it, just do it quicker when there's space.
Mm.
But you guys get your rating in there. I know Danny already said no one gets above a 2, so Danny's kind of done it. So I'd probably give him a 5. It is what it is.
I
Let's
thought he was the
see.
only one you couldn't blame for anything today.
Let's talk about Shaw. What are your thoughts
One.
on Shaw? One.
One. No, one. He was rubbish. Absolutely, completely, and utterly not there today. He was probably at fault as much, but McBurney was on him, so you can kind of half let him off for that for the first goal because it's McBurney who gets round the back. Lemons passes it out, and no one's in the middle with their midfielder. But yeah, he was just nowhere, non-existent. Didn't do his job defensively. Didn't do a job offensively. Couldn't pass the ball 2 yards, and was getting in Dorgu's way. Frankly, most of the time till
Yeah.
Dorgu went off. Terrible, shocking. He lived off of last season. And when you actually look at last season, the best thing you could say about Luke Shaw, and everyone says it, was he was injury free. Well, if that's the best thing about a footballer, we are in loads of trouble. So yeah,
I
no.
think he had a good season as well. To his credit,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'd still sell him tomorrow if we could, and if we got a
oh yeah,
top left back, that'd
100%.
be great. Big
So
up
you
Agile,
said
he's back in the house.
you said it the other day. That's the last thing I imagine if we hear now is Luke Shaw gets an extension. They better not. They had better not because he's done. He's finished. Get somebody in who can beat him to this punch because Harry Amas just doesn't have enough credit in the bank yet. We need someone they paid money for so they don't have to play this clown at left back anymore. He's a joke.
I
One.
was surprised to see Shaw so far forward today, because we haven't really seen him. When we talked about that in preseason, we talked about that last season. He doesn't really get as far forward, and today he was definitely doing. And Fair Play Hull, I mean, they kind of allowed us that, but it kept us exposed. And I do think, like you're saying, he and Dorgu kind of both being so high up at the same time was just not a great combination. I think it didn't allow us to get the best out of Dorgu. I
No.
think that it just is Shaw, and if Shaw's that far forward, you just automatically have to assume that if we lose the ball, Shaw's out of the picture for the next couple minutes
Yeah.
because he's not getting back. So I wonder if that threw
Mm.
us off a little bit. He did create the joint most chances with 4 chances, but we do still need a new left back. Like we can't, we have to get it one who could put a cross in the box and one who can get up and down the pitch for 90 minutes, and that's all. It's really, I mean, it's
Yep.
bare minimum demands for a left back if we're being honest. Like,
Yep.
and
I
can
mean,
defend. Joaquin Sayce
oh,
ticks every single
got to
box.
be
Lewis
able to
Hall ticks every
defend.
single box. David
Yep.
Brown ticks every single box. Like it just
Yep.
doesn't make sense.
Give me one of those three. I don't care. I don't want the young
Yeah,
Spanish kid. I'm not sure whether he'll be great. He might be. He might be the next Roberto Carlos. I hope he is, but he's not ready for. He's not what we need right now. We need
yeah,
someone who can walk in that door and go when they look at Luke Shaw and tell you after one training session, Michael Carrick's going and putting his name on the team sheet like that. That's what we need. We need that
yeah.
good a quality to walk straight in the door right now, and that is David Raum or Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall more because of the price. He is the quality. I'm not saying he's not, but he'd walk in and take the spot because of his price tag and his potential. Round walks in and takes the spot because he's better in
Yeah.
every single way,
I'd
and that's
even
just
start
it.
Joaquin Sayce over Luke Shaw at this point. At least he's going to be
Oh yeah.
reliable.
Well, at least he's going to run, Sean.
Yeah, I think Joaquin
And
Sayce is just better. But
somebody said about, you can't have someone that's and a left back that attacking with an attacking minded left sided forward, and I went, you can't what. Just let me point out, PSG, currently the best team in the world, have got the best left attacking midfielder and the best left attacking left back on the planet, and they just happen to work rather well in conjunction. So anyone who says that doesn't work is you're talking shit.
yeah, it's not hard to improve upon Luke Shaw at this point. I think is what we're
No.
getting.
I was hoping Irwin might put his kit on at half time. I was going,
Right.
come on, Dennis, get down there. He'd still be better. It still would be better. I promise you.
Phil, you got lucky because your first couple words here almost had me crying in my car here. Says because I know it's a typo though, so you made me feel better. Says I'm not a Sean fan, but I think you mean Shaw. Midfield was brutal. Yeah, the midfield just Tielemans didn't look off. We're gonna get to there. Don't worry, we're getting there. It's a long road ahead here. Rob says, get a left back that can defend and overlap wingers, decent crosser. They do exist. They just, United just are taking their dear sweet time to go get one right now. And unfortunately, we've got just to, just go out and pull the trigger.
We've
Like
got
someone
8 days
said,
now left, isn't it?
yeah,
Someone said
just go
today.
get a left
8
back.
days.
Maybe we could try to get, I would love a striker as well, but it just is what it is.
Well, if there's any truth in that Villa want Xerxes, then we take Watkins or I walk.
Yeah.
If we don't take Watkins and they take Xerxes, I will walk. I am done. I'm done with this football club. I don't care what decision they make after that. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Simon seems to like to put words in my mouth, so we're just going to ignore Simon for a couple minutes. It's okay, though. Oh, let's talk about Aiden Heaven. I know probably one that a lot of us are waiting to chat about. Listen, we all like Heaven, but I think we can all agree that Heaven's just not ready to be starting in the Premier League, Champions League. His positioning, his reading of the game, his reading of the situations that he's in, it's just not there yet. And I don't expect it to be. He's a teenager. Like, it just is what it is. I do think that Euro, who is also young, Euro's also been playing first team football for longer, and I would have started Euro over Heaven today. I just think Heaven again just showed us why he probably shouldn't be starting unless
Definitely
it's like
not.
a Carabao Cup match or something, or a dead rubber in the Champions League. But what are your thoughts on Heaven? What rating would you give him?
Again, a 1. No, he gets another 1 for me. Absolutely shouldn't have been on the pitch. I completely agree with every word you say and more. He's got potential, but I was talking about this again, and it was, if you look back at all his best moments, right? Do you know what his best moments are after he's made a mistake? Recovery. All his best moments are recovering tackles. They're not defensive tackles because he's got them in position and done it well. He's recovering from a mistake. So what is he? Is he the Aaron Wan-Bissaka of centre backs? So yeah, no, I was not impressed at all in pre-season. Euro 100% should have been starting, and I said this to Sean before we started. If I'm Lenny Euro and I'm sitting there watching that disgrace, and I don't start the next game, I'm going to start to think I don't want to be here because
why do we think Euro didn't start today?
I can't. I don't know. I don't know. Maguire doesn't feel comfortable on the left. So, because Heaven's left-footed, it starts like that. I can't. I don't know. Think about the balance. That can only be it. Because I tell you what, we didn't look great, but we looked definitely as slightly more defensively solidified when Euro came on. So I got nothing to say. Heaven's lucky. I pretty much can't give 0. So it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been there today, and it just stands out. We need Martinez fit, and we need the Lit fit as soon as possible, ASAP.
Heaven is just one of those interesting ones, right? Because again, nothing that we're saying is like wrong, right? In terms of like his mistakes he's making and what he's doing, but at the same time, I'm trying to temper it against his age or his youth, right? I think that again, there's no mistakes that I see him making that I wouldn't expect to see from a teenager. And so I do look a little bit more towards Carrick for that decision. Again, but that's why I asked, why didn't Euro start? Because I do think Euro would have been a little bit better in that regard. But again, we'll never know. I think that the last couple matches of preseason and a lot of the goals we've conceded in preseason a lot of that was Heaven was involved in a lot of that as well.
He's not in the middle for the first goal. He's second player not jumping for the second goal. He's just much to blame as anyone.
Yeah. So and then Phil says, "Yeah, we're not fit." I do agree. Carrick's fault as well. I think that Carrick is. Again, from the outside looking in, it definitely looks like Carrick is a little lax in training, the fitness, and we're going to talk more about that a little later because not just me saying that, but you guys, please just don't troll and argue for no reason, and definitely don't put words in my mouth. I don't understand what the issue is there, but we got to put someone on a timeout for a hot second. So you guys, just be respectful. Like, it's not like I just don't understand why I have to tell grown adults this, but that's such a pet peeve of mine. Just for everyone's information, when I have to tell adults how to behave like adults, like I shouldn't feel like I have to do that. So just keep that in mind. I'm happy for people to disagree, but just don't put words in my mouth, the things I didn't say. So Heaven, yeah, probably just not good. He'll get his time. I'm not worried about having long term, but it's the biggest thing with performances like this and these situations is they need to be teachable moments. They need to be learning experiences. He needs to be watching footage and film.
See, I don't see it changing.
He needs to be analyzing. Well, he doesn't. I don't think he gets enough run of games to see it change. Unfortunately, he had a couple games preseason. Then Euro was having a couple games, and then Maguire's in there and stuff. And I think that's obviously you want everyone fit. I don't like again today got me so much more frustrated with the World Cup as well, just completely derailing our entire preseason, and it just frustrates me. And the fact that there's lack of fitness, lack of just synergy in there and stuff. I just look at the World Cup and get more mad about that. But let's talk about Herodona, who apparently doesn't know what position he wants to play because he was second half in the last like 15, 20 minutes. The guy was striker. He was playing right back. He was driving the ball through the middle of the pitch. He was playing deep line playmaker. He was playing every position besides center back for the majority of the second half. Wasn't exactly like he had a horrible name numbers wise. He won 4 out of 6 duels, 8 of 11 long balls, completed 2 out of 2 dribbles. Someone has to tell me though why he's marking his own teammate for Hull's opener. Not the first time in his United career he's done that, by the way. I'm starting to worry about his eyesight, y'all. But then, yeah, why was he playing all over the place? Like again, and like I think Simon was saying, like Maguire went against the manager. Who knows? I couldn't tell you what Carrick said. I don't know what's going on in Maguire's head, but I think it's just desperation, dude.
I think there was this thing where the Carrick made a comment in some interview, didn't he, about it's to a certain point he lets the players sort it out, like on the pitch. If things are going wrong, he needs them to change it with it. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not. But Maguire, it felt like from minute one, Maguire was in a daydream. So he was obviously living the last 5 minutes of the Lyon game from the start of the kickoff here today. He was only slightly better than Heaven. So a 2 is what he gets simply because he did win a certain amount of headers, but he didn't do enough to protect Heaven from McBurney, and he did exactly what I said he would do. He left Maguire as many times as he could alone and went and picked on Heaven because it was easy work. It was easy food for him, just sitting there gobbling up a little bacon cheeseburger, no problem. I said he wouldn't have done it to Euro because Euro wouldn't have defended him in the same way. He'd have sat off him a yard and gone, come on then. That's Heaven's problem, though.
But that's the thing, and I've spoken about this concept on the channel multiple times called the O principle. If you guys remember me talking about it, and what the O principle, it's in one of these football books behind me. I forget which one. What the O principle posits is that a player's shortcomings, and again, not being bad, but just shortcomings for whatever reason, whether it's age, lack of speed, lack of football IQ, height, whatever. A player's shortcomings, they don't just stack, they multiply, they ripple out in a circle because they impact all the other players around them. Because like you're saying, Heaven's lack of maybe positional awareness, reading of the game because he's young is now forcing, we saw it in preseason, Shaw has to hold his hand, Maguire's got to come hold his hand, so now they can't do what they need to do, and then that in turn affects the fullbacks and affects the center backs and the goalkeeper. It's the O principle, it multiplies, and again, it sounds like I'm coming in harsh on Heaven. I'm not trying to blame him for the loss or anything, but it's just, it wasn't, to me, it was not the right call. We should have made that call, that change much earlier. We should have brought Yor on, but I just don't understand why that happened. But I mean, I get we're desperate towards the end, but we're relying on Harry Maguire to do everything for us in the final 10 minutes. It's just not good enough. So Simon, I don't know if that was him going against Carrick or not. I really don't know. And if you want to say you've got some ITK information, more power to you. I can only take. I mean, if that's your kind of badge of verification, I don't know how much weight I can give it, but it is what it is.
He's not. He's in one way. He's not wrong though, because he shouldn't be doing it unless he's been told to do that. He shouldn't be doing it.
And if he's going against Carrick, then he shouldn't be playing the next game. Like,
yeah. Simple. Well, there you go. Well, and then we said that but that defence played today because we haven't got anyone else fit to play. Bar Euro, I said, and I think other people said it should have been in the starting 11. From fact.
Maybe
he blew it today.
Seeing Euro and Leach start next match. Then, if that's the case, who knows?
Yeah, but again, I said it. Leach should have come on and got more minutes today. We should have just changed that centre back pairing at half time, just straight away off, because there was no point in not.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do, give him minutes in the next game. Well, the next game's even more important now.
Yeah.
So he's not going to risk it in the next game, is he? He's not going to risk Leach, who's had no minutes.
And
So
these are
where
the
do these teams players get minutes?
These are situations that you put yourself in sometimes as a manager, and
Yeah.
some of it's not his fault. You can't help sometimes the
No.
fact that World Cup is there. But again, what are we doing in training? It didn't look at points today that it looked that these players had ever trained together. Nobody was on the same page. Bruno was trying a lot of these stupid dummy leaves, and they were going to nobody. Like I just don't get it sometimes. It looked desperate towards the end, which again it was.
Oh, it
We were
did.
down 2-0.
Disjointed.
But it's just you have to. That's where cooler heads need to prevail. Like and the manager,
What
like remember, manage is also a verb. Coach is a verb. Is not just a title. You got to do stuff.
Yeah. Let's say yesterday, we've got to play with calm. We've got to play collective. We've got to play our game and don't let them play us. And we just didn't. We just folded our game straight away and tried running around chasing them like headless chickens. It was never going to work. It was never going to win. But this, everyone's not fit enough. I can't get minutes, so I can't get this, and I can't get that. We should have been back earlier then, because I'm not having it. I don't care if their players weren't at the World Cup. I bet you there was at least 20 players played today and yesterday that were at the World Cup. I bet there was, and I bet you they played better, harder, and faster than any of our ones that were there. So that's rubbish. I don't want to hear ever any of it. Martinez should have been back. If he's not fit enough, then fine him. This club are soft. And until we get hard on that, until we get hard on these players, they're going to think they can walk in with their pipe and slippers and just walk out with their paycheck. Well, that's got to be a no.
Ruben Amorim may have been stubborn. He may have died on too many hills, and he may have maybe
Sorted
held
that
a little bit
Christian,
under the weight of the shirt. But at the same time, fair play to him. He recognized the need for an improvement in fitness early on, and I have to say, since Carrick's arrived, these players just the fitness levels have gone down the toilet, and we're going to talk more about that because I keep reminding us, but we're going to talk more about that. What about Mazraoui?
2. I don't think he did anything too badly wrong. I thought he was actually defended a couple of the balls well against McBurney early on, especially I think it was they got 2 balls in right early, and if it wasn't for Maz, it could have been a goal much sooner.
Yeah.
So, but his play, his general all-round play, any kind of distribution, he looked like the rest of them never kicked a ball before in his life, and it really drives me mad. You cannot be sharp, you cannot be match fit, but that doesn't stop you being able to kick a ball 5 yards in a straight line like you did last year and like you've done every day since you could walk with a football. No excuse for it, and none of us could do it today. None of us, not even Bruno. Every one of those players, I said, bar Sesko and Lemons, walk off that pitch disgraced. They disgraced the badge, they disgraced their names, they disgraced everything today. They should look at themselves hard. No, I don't even think they. I feel sorry for youngsters like him coming on. But yeah, people like that. Yoro didn't do anything too wrong, to be honest. But that starting 11, disgrace.
Yeah, Mazraoui was frustrating. I mean, like I said, a couple times he had space to get forward and just opted to pass it back. I'm not sure if he doesn't trust himself. I'm not sure if that was tactical from Carrick or what. But to me, looking at it from our perspective, it definitely looked like the wrong call. And it cost us. I think we were trying to force the overloads in numbers a little too much in those wide areas, and in order to do that, we were trying to maybe force the ball back. Like, does no one realize that when you're up against a newly promoted side who's up 2-0, they're not just going to open up and come out and expose themselves. They're probably just going to camp in the back.
Yeah. Also, I really hate this when you're trying to stretch the play, that the 2 wide men are out here and the 2 fullbacks push up so close, so like I always say, they're holding hands. Yeah. You can't create any play. Do you know how easy you are to mark? Like, you've ever heard throw a hanky over 2 of our players? You heard say it?
I've said it multiple times on the channel. You could have thrown a blanket and covered about 3 of our players sometimes.
It's pathetic. One of their players can cover 2 of ours without moving. Yeah. He's like, I've got him, go. And he'll call the midfield, shake the midfielder off. And no wonder they won the ball so much, because they had 3 spare men.
There were so many times where we would, like, Mbeumo would get the ball wide, and you could tell he wants to put in the box, but literally the only person in the box is, like, Cunha or Dorgu, and they're sandwiched between 2 center backs, while Hull also have, like, a back 5, basically. Like, you're not going to do anything there. You have to get that ball into the area quicker. You have to get that ball into the final third quicker. You have to be quicker. It's just too slow.
No. in that position, not only have you got to put in absolute quality because the way they are, but even Sesko would struggle when there's just so little help around that area. And like you said, the only time we put the ball in the box was when the smallest people on the pitch were in there,
Yeah,
who
it was
generally are
annoying.
our worst headers of the ball.
Yeah,
So
it was getting
yeah,
on my fucking nerves.
God, we miss Casemiro so much. I was screaming it at one point. I was just,
Yeah, somebody. No, yeah, we need to get this third midfielder, and we need to get this left back, and we need to get a striker in. We still have three more
oh,
positions that and honestly, I think you can make an argument for top center back as well, but it is what it
oh
is.
yeah, that ain't happening this
We've
year.
spoken about that many times on the channel.
Hmm.
What about Santos today? Like I said, I don't think he was bad. He just wasn't really super impactful. He did win quite a few duels, but I think that he just
I think, as I say, it didn't look as good as he has looked in pre-season, but I think once the sort of real hustle of it, and like we were saying, he was overloaded constantly,
yeah.
2-on-1, and he's also was filling in for our other new signing, who we'll get to, who by the way was a disgrace on a different level today, but for the experienced midfielder, you'd have thought it was him out of the two, because out of the two, he had the better game. But he could not. He's only one man. Don't matter how good you are, you can't cover two people running off you, and then there's a third because the other guy who's supposed to be covering at least one of those three isn't doing his job either. And then you turn around and your defence are holding hands. And you're like, what's he supposed to do? Everything he did on the ball was probably as clean as any of our midfielders, if not the best out of the three of them. He passed the ball better than Bruno and Tillemans today, but it weren't great. And like you said, he won his duels. He can only do his job to a certain level. But when it's like, oh, well, it was Santos's runner, that's all people are going to say. Oh, he run off Santos, he can't mark, he can't do this. Nobody can mark two people. It's impossible. So deal with it. But yeah, he wasn't great. But I'll give him a 4 because he could do nothing. He didn't show me anything that he could really grab the game by the bootstraps and pull it on his own. But you don't expect that. He's a little bit young. But he didn't crumble. He didn't fold in like some of the players. He at least was trying. But you could, it's like playing Mount next to Kobe. You still miss Casemiro. It was just the way it is.
Yeah, like it's hard. I mean, I agree with Bexy. It's not like he's a youngster. He had a full preseason and he's played like he played a lot last season. He should be doing better than he did. But the problem is like everybody was shit. Like when it's like everybody got dragged down to a level rather than just try to fight up to another level. It just wasn't good enough. Again, I'm not trying to go too soon on him or like Tielemans or Dorg. I'm not writing off Dorgu's entire season or anything because of one bad performance. But again, we have to call like it is. It was an absolute awful performance from everybody.
It was a stinker.
Like Dorgu had an absolute shock.
Worst since his first Bambi minutes. It's the worst I've seen him. But yeah, no, Santos. Just imagine that game. I know I've said it the third time. Imagine if he starts that game next to Casemiro, right? I tell you what, it's just not whether we go ahead and win or not, because that's no guarantee, but it's a completely different ball game because at least his partner next to him is doing his job. Because this young man, who's not young, actually, but you'd think he was today, never played football in his life, 18-year-old Yuri Tillemans, I thought was playing for us today. Not the 28-year-old experienced ball-controlling midfielder that I thought we'd bought. This guy lost his head today, and I'm hoping that shirt is not too heavy for him. I'll give him one game. He plays like that in the next game, then he shouldn't play. And that is a £35 million waste of money.
Yeah, he just didn't. He made a lot of passes into the final third, but like it just wasn't really like he's complete. I mean, he completed a lot of passes, but I just need him. I need him to do a little bit more. He need him to do a little bit more than what he is. He doesn't look like it was. I thought it was a dice roll from Carrick to. Obviously, these guys they've played together a few times in preseason, but I did think it was a bit of a dice roll to start both the brand new midfielders together today. But his hands were a little tied as well.
Who else did he have? He couldn't start Fletcher. He couldn't start one of the Fletchers. Kobe's even less ready, which is another one of my pet peeves. As I've already said, Declan Rice was ready, so a day earlier as well. So
Yeah, he didn't look.
yeah,
Tillman's didn't look 100% fit. He definitely didn't look like 100% like on the same
yeah,
page with everybody as well, which almost you
exactly.
can almost expect it in some regards.
But please don't ever want anyone say this is a version of Adam Walton that we bought. That's disgraceful that's disgrace to Adam Walton. You should not mention their names in the same breath.
Not try not to go too early on these guys. The first game of the season, it was a shit game, but I think that. So, what would you give Tielemans today?
One.
One, yeah.
It's terrible. He should, Sean, out of everybody we signed so far, he's the one that shouldn't be having the shit first game. That's why we signed him. He's our experience. It's like Bruno shouldn't have been having a shit first game. Yeah, but it's the case. That doesn't stop his experience and his head when he gets on the pitch. He lost it today. Looked like he'd never played football at some points. His touch was terrible. His pass was terrible. He was trying things like he was in prime Zidane mode, but he literally was Mr. Bean on the pitch today.
Yeah. It's
shocking.
I think it was hard because obviously the desperation was there going down 2-0, but I think that it led to a lot of disjointed kind of sequences of play, and I just think we started to fall apart. We kind of lost a little control after doing that second goal went in. When the first one went in, I was like, all right, I knew we kind of said in the preview we were going to concede probably first. We just had that feeling. We tend to do that. There was going to be some little set piece or something, but Hull just they didn't let up. They just kept going. Even towards the end, they were coming out, and they were the ones who were putting their foot on the neck towards the end. Towards the end, the last 5 minutes, they were stepping out. They were pressing. They wouldn't let us get the ball like into their half. They were just absolutely bossing us, man.
So they played really well. Not just we were bad; they were actually really decent.
Yeah,
They work hard. They work like that. They won't get battered by everybody.
This was the same as last season. We struggled against these physical, aggressive sides. You can never immediately write off the fight and the aggression of newly promoted sides, especially and towards the end of the season, you can't write off relegation fodder sides. Like these sides who still have a chance to stay up will fight like cornered animals, and the Hull have a lot.
So they should as well. They should as well. But like you said, they were even though the last minutes of the game, they were still running harder than us.
But at the end of the day,
have this.
Like Simon says, haha pun. We should have beat them. We should.
We should have. But this is all we keep hearing. We should have done this. We should have done that. We should have done this. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like, don't give you no points, does it?
No.
No. So it's nothing else. There's nothing but disgrace today, and I ain't got a good word. I ain't got a good word to say. That's why I wasn't going to come on, because this is the B version. You're getting the non-X-rated version, because all I want to do is scream how angry I am and tell them what these players. Yeah, but what these players are. I mean, this man on the pitch on the screen right now. I fucking love him. He is our best player. I don't care what anyone says. Miles. But today he let himself down. You see him in the warm-up, in the huddle. He was, I'm thinking, right, that's it, Bruno. Write it up, and come on, fire it up. And then it went out like a fucking candle in the wind.
Yeah.
It was shit. He was shit today. And he better pick his arse out of that performance, because so far in pre-season, he's missed 2 penalties and been absolutely shit.
Yeah, he was not good for him. And it's really hard for me to believe that Bruno had the most touches today, because the entire first half, I didn't even know he was on the pitch.
Most missed touches.
I looked it up. It said most touches. He had like 100 and some odd touches, and I was like, I don't remember even hearing his name in the first half. I don't understand how he got that. Yeah, he created a couple chances, but it doesn't really matter if we're losing, does it? I think that there will be a portion of the fan base who's just going to start waving the Bruno out flag pretty early, but I think that just is what it is.
No, I don't want that. He will sort it out, but he needs to get it right. Like I said, I can let one game go, no matter how bad it was. It shouldn't, and Simon's right, and Bexy's right. We should have won.
Yeah.
But that unfortunately is the attitude our players have gone into that game with today, thinking they should have won. They deserve to win.
It was a foregone conclusion already?
Yeah, they've gone in thinking they deserve to win.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this shirt. I'm a winner now. Move us. So who's this Hull? We'll go on level 1, shall we, lads? Today, cruise in the park.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and that's the attitude we went with.
It was evident the first couple minutes that from a physicality and an aggression and a mentality level that we were second, right off the bat, second. And it was, we let them get too much of that. We let them win that battle too early, too quickly, and we just never quite got ourselves back into it from that perspective. Yes, on paper, we have better players. We have more technical players. We have players who won more. But none of that matters if the other team is just wanting it more. Like, it's just what you can. What else can you do with that? Today was about mentality and fitness. Second,
we had a loser's mentality today. Losers. That's why I said I was annoyed with the first words out of Carrick's mouth. I wanted them to be anger, and how pissed off he was. And he was like, "Well, we went out to win today." No, you fucking well did not.
Carrick's
Well, you might have done.
Though.
You might have done, mate. But those fuckers didn't. Not one single little bit. Not one time. No, of course he's not. But not one time. I mean, I did hear one tiny little bit. The Man United commentator, and he's usually quite calm with those, but he got a bit sharp. He said, "Oh well, we'll move on." And Carrick went, "No, it's not like that. It's not just we'll go back in and we'll put that one to bed and we'll move on to the next one." He wasn't. He got a really. He saw his eyes go a bit narrower, and he got a bit like, "No, it ain't like that. Don't think I'm angry. I am angry about what's just happened. It's none of this. We'll just move on. Yes, we've got to address what happened, but there's none of this. Oh, it's done now. On to the next one." So he got a little bit. So what we were talking about last night and the other last week about, is he got that mentality behind the scenes? Maybe. But that's what I mean. The next game is now not only most important because it's basically a 6-pointer this early in the season, and if these players don't step up and show what they could do, it's almost over before we've kicked a ball against City.
Yeah, because as hard as it is to wrest back that control in a match, if you zoom out the lens and talk about, like, this was supposed to be an easy start to the season. This would have been this should have been the opportunity to get, like, we talked maybe 10, 11 points from these first 5 matches the other day, and we've already dropped 3. Our goal differential is already -2, and it's just not good enough. Because what do you think Ipswich are going to do? Ipswich are going to come out swinging. They brought a bunch of new players.
I think the only difference is obviously we're going to maybe have a bit more fitness in a few more legs, and we're at Old Trafford. So that's it. That's the only difference I can think.
Yeah, it's annoying. I'm so annoyed. The World Cup pisses me off. I can't stand it. It's not I have to distinguish between FIFA and the World Cup, because when I say I can't stand it, it's really just it's really what it's become that I can't stand. Because the World Cup used to be prestigious, like the Champions League. It used to be a prestigious thing, and now it's become a money grab. It's derailed our entire season because it's derailed the entire summer. I cannot stand it, man. Paddy Dorgu. Honestly, shocking performance from him. Was not shocked at all for him to get subbed off at halftime. I was calling for it in the first half. And if you guys are in the
WhatsApp been after group, 20 minutes.
Again, starting 11 and Legends members, we do have a WhatsApp group, and I was in there calling for him to come off. Right, he just didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Like, I have to call it like I see it. He's not bad. I'm not writing him off his entire career, but he's also not the finished article.
Definitely not.
Today, it didn't look like he knew what he was supposed to be doing. We talked about maybe he and Shaw were getting in each other's way. I don't know, but Dorgu, he just looked like he was chasing the ball around more than, like, actually having some sort of plan.
He was headless chicken like the rest of them. He didn't know where he was meant to be. And that's his one thing about his game when we try to play him like that. He wanders. He needs structure in his play because he wanders. He doesn't know how to do his role. And Danny said it multiple times. He's not the finished article at left wing or the finished article at left back, and he's got to soon nail down one of those two roles, or he will just become a journeyman without a role.
Yeah,
that's just it. Yeah,
he was a fullback at Lecce. They started at Lecce that season we got him. They started playing him on the right wing.
Yes, Jim.
Don't really know what the plan. I assumed he was a left back. Amarim played him as like a wing back. Carrick plays him as a winger. I don't know if I would say he is a winger. I've just said that's where they're playing him, so that's where they see him, so that's where we can assume he's going to play. It just is what it is at this point.
I think he's had some of his best moments when he's played attacking for us, so people assume it. And when we've seen him play for Denmark, he's plays attacking. But then no disrespect to Denmark, but when you've got a really good player in a slightly lesser position, I mean, look how many times Hakimi nearly plays up front for Morocco, or back in the day, I saw what's his name, the left back for Switzerland. He was a left back, and he basically played striker because he was their best player, and you have to play your best player where he's most effective.
Yeah, you
And
have to still.
he
Go ahead.
needs to figure out a place. Sorry, he needs to figure out a role. That's what he needs
Well,
to figure
honestly, right
out.
now, I think his role should not be starting at the moment necessarily. I think Cunha should be starting on the left, and I think a new left back should be starting at left back, and Dogu should be coming on or playing in some like lesser matches or coming on as an impact sub or something at the moment. I just don't know because again, I don't think he's a finished article, and again, two managers don't really seem to know what to do with him at this point. But he's not bad. He's
No,
also still like just don't know what we're gonna do with him.
yeah,
But yeah, he's another one. He just had a shocker. He's definitely getting like a zero for me today.
yeah.
I
It's
just
a
think
it's a
today,
one, but
yeah, isolated from what we saw today, it was a horrible. It was horrible.
yeah, it's horrible. Because
I
the
thought it
thing
was.
is, what you want from him on the left is the fact that he's left-footed and he doesn't want to come inside. But he does not go past someone and kick them across the ball.
No, he
And you're
wants
like,
these
come
little
on, mate.
combinations that he can kind of run in behind real quick. He wants. He doesn't. He didn't want to put in a lot of crosses. They looked like we were relying on Shaw for that, but he definitely wanted to get little combos with Shaw so he can get to the byline and just cut it back. But we were just forcing it a little too much. Dorgu needs to just take charge a little bit in those
Yeah,
situations and just say instead of
absolutely.
always passing it back to Shaw, just say I'm gonna put one in the box this time. Like
Yeah,
because he's got a decent cross, he just doesn't always know when to cross. He
to do
almost
it.
waits a
Yeah,
little too long at times,
yeah.
but just
Relying on Shaw to cross the ball, we might as well be relying on Stevie Wonder
yeah.
to catch it. So
What about Cunha today?
shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably the worst performance I've seen from him in a United shirt.
it wasn't
I'll go
good.
as far as that. Yeah, it was. He looked like he had just been out for a year, not longer. He looked like something was wrong. Like he wasn't ready at all today, and he was told 5 minutes before kickoff he was playing.
Don't know
He
if he was.
just
I don't know if he
wasn't
was
in his
supposed to
head.
play today.
Nobody. I don't. I said to you before the thing, if Ahmad doesn't pull up with an injury or a little niggle yesterday, he's not starting. It's Ahmad in Bumu and Bruno.
Yeah, I
So
agree. I think
yeah,
that the
and
plan was not
Dorgu.
for that
So
to happen because he
no, he
only just
wasn't.
got his first minutes in preseason. I think against Leeds, he did not play.
He
I
had
think he
10
played a
minutes,
little.
didn't he, against
Yeah,
Leeds?
he just didn't
About
play a lot.
no, I
I
think he's had
like
about
him.
40 minutes in total. That's it.
I like him more in the nine than I like Mbumo in the nine. But at the end of the day, he's not
No,
a nine. One
no,
shot's not going to cut it. Zero dribbles completed. Zero crosses completed. One big chance is just not going to cut it. We need,
no.
and I posted this on Twitter earlier on the channel's Twitter page, but we need an out and out
Yeah.
striker to compete with Shesko. We don't need wingers who can barely do the job there if needed because Mbumo doesn't cut it. Cunha's not going to cut it. I mean, it's just not good enough. Let these players
No.
play where they are supposed to play, and let's get another nine. Not one who's going to come in like a Welbeck or something and just get a couple minutes here and there, maybe get 7, 8, 9 goals. Like,
You
get
want
me a
someone who's going
nine.
to tell Benjamin Sisko, I'm playing, not you, mate.
Yeah,
That's it.
let them
And
compete. Like that's what I want.
yeah, I just like, oh, yeah, I did. No, my feelings might as well. I might as well have a tattoo of him on my arm by now. It's Watkins. I'm not saying we win that game today, but I'm telling you what, we cause them a hell of a lot more issues if Watkins is playing up front for us. I just
Anybody.
hands down.
I
It's just
saw
no
this.
doubts for me.
I saw that Mateta is trying to force his way out of Palace. I know a lot of people like Mateta as well.
I would have taken that today. I'd have taken Ivan Tony today, or
Tony,
any one
I
of
do
the
like
three of
Tony.
them. Any one of the three of them would have done a job up front today. But no, I'm not having Cunha in that nine in any way. If we're going to play
Yeah.
this quick triangles and balls into the space, it is not his game. He does it okay as the attacking player because he gets to float a little bit more. When you're the nine, you've got to be the figurehead. And no, I know I like, and I'm sure everyone else does, when you've got a combination front three that can rotate around and cause the defence a bit of trouble. But in the first 4 minutes, we changed centre forward 3 times,
Yeah, we saw that in preseason
and
too.
that's
There's a lot of
stupid.
fluid movement.
That that's just stupid because the team doesn't know where they're meant to be. You can't have that.
Yeah.
Sesko doesn't do that. Sesko's not the one who goes and plays out on the left
No,
wing, and Cunha
he's the
goes up
nine.
there.
Stick him in the
He's a
box.
9. In Bumu, Ahmad, they can all switch around, but you need focus, and we had
Yes.
none.
Without a nine, you don't
Look
have
what
it.
Burnley did today.
Yeah, exactly. Get a nine, put it in the mixer, and let them deal with it. Like that's all you have to do. But without a nine, we're trying to cross to guys who are like 5'7". We're trying to play a little intricate one and two touch play against a
Frodo
little
up front.
bus. Basically, it just doesn't work. And Carrick should know better than that. If you're gonna
Yeah,
have Sesko on the bench, if you're gonna bring him on anyway, bring him on at halftime. That would have been the call to make.
that's it.
Personally, Usman's in the
That's it.
house. Long time no see you, Usman. Good to see you, my friend.
Big up, big up,
Jimbo's taking off. Says, gotta go. Great stream. Big up. Appreciate that, you
big
guys.
up to
Where we at on
Jimbo.
like, you guys? Because I remember I did promise if we get to 20 likes while we're live, I would gift 5 memberships. You guys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Get yourselves closer to
Yeah.
in contention for a membership. We are, where are we at here? We are 13 likes, you guys. Keep it going. A couple more to go.
Smash it, you guys.
Cunha, just another one who didn't have a great player. Our gate game started.
hmm
And again, in Bumo, again, most touches in the box today, most shots, but did he ever look like he was really going to do anything? Barely
Um,
completed dribble, 2 out of 10 crosses completed from him. Like he's just not good enough.
no, it wasn't. But again, I felt a little bit sorry for him in one way today, and not that he deserves any praise or anything. I'm not trying to sugarcoat how bad he wasn't good, but when you are trying to run that line and you're feeding off the scraps that we were producing, and he's supposed to be the one in the box, but was having to be the one to go and get the ball because nobody else would.
Yeah.
Like, what did Trashford do when he came on? Fuck all. Nothing. Don't even bother with his player rating because it's less than 0.
I usually don't with subs unless they score goals
Yeah.
or do something.
So, at least in Boomu, putting a tiny bit of effort today. He was chasing the ball down. He was trying to shoulder it in. Like I said, our 2 best chances fell to him. I swear, if the second chance where he's running the defender and he hits it across the keeper with his right foot, if it's the other side, he scores. If he's running the defender on his right side and he's got a shot of his left, I guarantee you he scores. It's just unfortunate, but at least he put in less than required, but he put in more effort than anyone else out there, I thought.
I mean, cool A for effort, but when you've got the most touches in the box and you take the most shots and you can't complete a single dribble and two out of 10 of your crosses find the target, like that's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. It's the same as
No.
Cunha. It's the same as Dorgu. It's the same as everyone else. It just wasn't good enough for him. And like Danny says, I don't know why we played him the entire preseason as a 9 and then we moved him back wide. Again, I don't know if that was the plan today. I think the plan today was to play him as the 9 until Ahmad pulled up with something. And we can't start
was.
Shea Lacey. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind it, but
I should have done. I would have actually preferred Rashford. I'd have preferred Rashford than Cunha. Cunha did nothing today. Nothing. He might as well have not been up front, and it was making it easy for them. Like I said, we were making it easy by our fullbacks and our wingers holding hands, and we were making it easy by by our number 9 wasn't there, didn't exist, wasn't on the pitch. Might as well have not bothered. Played with 10 men.
yeah, it wasn't great today. I mean, I wonder how much of it was Carrick's hand being forced with Ahmad pulling up or lack of fitness. But at the same time, if these guys are fit enough to be on the bench, if they're fit enough to be considered an option off the bench, and they're fit enough to bring off the bench, then it was clear early on the plan should have been to put Shesko in the box. Like it should have been doing it.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. Like no one's ever 100% fit. Everyone's sore. Everyone's got carrying something. Like we can't risk it. We have to do it. So
Yeah.
all right, Carrick. Questions. I have questions for Carrick. Where were the quick transitions we saw in preseason? Where was the crisp, fluid triangle passing that he loves? Why bring on Shea Lacey and Rashford when Hull were up 2-0 and they were parking the bus? Why have inverted wingers when Shesko's on the pitch? Why try to keep forcing play through the middle when it just wasn't going to happen? Why so many strikers in the early on without a strike or crosses without a striker in the box? I just don't get. I have so many questions today. If I had 5 minutes with Carrick, I would have nothing but questions for him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Carrick? What would you give him today for his performance? I'm going to put up his quote today for what he said earlier too as well.
Yeah, so I said I didn't like what his first words about going to win and all that. I was a bit more about what he said about the squad, and he's not happy with the result. Okay, tactically, I thought we started how everyone expected us to start, and I wouldn't have started much different. As I say, Yoro would have been my only change in the starting 11. Um, it, obviously, Ahmad, we all wish Ahmad would have played, but I said this to Sean before we started. If losing one player derails our entire game plan that badly, we're in fucking big trouble.
Yeah.
But what I didn't see today, and we didn't really see it last year. We saw a little bit in that game against Liverpool, but then we pulled it back. And then was it Brentford game where he just couldn't seem to get anything in the game at all, and we had no plan B. And today was so abundant that we didn't have an option of a tactical change, and that is the lack of a number 9, a lack of real energy in the centre mid, and a lack of any kind of decent fallback of any kind. So he had to stick with what he had, and it wasn't good enough. It wasn't.
If you don't have a 9, if you don't have a tall player, then why put so many crosses in the box? Like I just don't get it. I mean, all these balls are going to the back post to try to get back across. It didn't make sense. I mean, after the match, he said a couple times during his post match that these things happen. We'll have to accept it and move on. But honestly, it was unacceptable. It was absolutely unacceptable. There's nothing to accept there. He claimed, though, like you said earlier, he's not calm. He says, I may be speaking to you calmly, but inwardly I am not calm. I played here for a long time. We don't all need to shout, scream, and create chaos. Being calm doesn't mean there are no emotions. And I hear you, but nothing about this is acceptable.
No, oh no, that's what I mean. The first words out of his mouth would people will damn you with. So people will beat him with that stick. I said it as soon as I saw the first goal go in. I said in the WhatsApp, just looked out my window. I can see them chumming the water already. So it's just the way it is. He's gonna have to pick his jaw up. And again, another reason why this next game is now massive. It's a game for the Champions League. It's almost all your dice right now, all in. Because if you don't, mate, and it goes wrong in this one, then you're going to start to go downhill, and then it's really difficult from that point. Really, really difficult. So yeah, I thought he didn't show enough today. I'm not screaming he shouldn't have the job, and I'm not screaming he hasn't got a fucking clue or anything like that, because we saw last season he clearly does.
Yeah.
But that today, I think also, I do feel sorry for him in one point. I think the players fucking let him down today.
Yeah. And
in a big, big way.
I think there are a couple of players today who probably need to be looking over their shoulder and worrying about what the team sheet's going to look like next. Like Danny says, we're talking about Lacey going into the match. You don't assume that Lacey's going to start over everybody else when they're fit, and that's my point. You don't think of Lacey as a starter, but then you have performances like this from your first team players, and like Danny says, we want wingers who are going to take on their man. It's something I said we weren't doing today. Lacey will do that. The question is that what Carrick wants? Because it's hard to tell.
I say we don't know how he reacted to that, and I agree. I think Lacey should have started. It's nothing to do with his age, because if we hark back to something we said the other night, a certain Marcus Rashford was third choice striker on the 10 minutes before kick-off in that game when he came on and made his name. Right? So what says Shea Lacey doesn't do that? So
again, hindsight's 2020. I think I said going into it, I don't think anybody would have picked Lacey to start. But then again, nobody would have assumed that the players were just going to show up like they did today. So again, if we could turn back time, I would start Lacey over Mbumo or Cunha or whoever. But it just is what it is at this point. But like I said, I do think that someone like Mbumo, someone like Cunha needs to be looking over their shoulders right now as well, because there's nothing to be. I mean, even Xerxes probably could have come on and done a little better than Cunha.
Would have done better today. Definitely would have been better than Cunha. And you're not going to hear me say that.
At the same time,
100%.
You never know.
Watkins. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm getting waved at now.
All right.
We've got a little bit longer than my wife expected. I
We're
have to
about wrapped
go.
up here, but you go for it if
Yeah,
you gotta go.
yeah, I've got to go. She's not having it any longer. So, everybody, remember to smash the like.
Yes, please do,
Hold
guys.
Sean to his thing. Get them likes in. Get your memberships, and hopefully, we'll see you in the next show, preparing for something better with new signings.
Hopefully, hopefully. Take it easy,
But
man.
you take it easy, guys. Peace.
Take Ian off there. We're about wrapped up anyway, you guys. Please make sure you like. Please make sure you subscribe. Where are we at on the likes as well? Like I said, I promised if we got to 20, I would go ahead and gift 5 memberships. Remember, you do have to have that activated in your YouTube settings in order to do that. It doesn't default to that, so you got to make sure you do that. But honestly, it felt like we could have played another 90 minutes and we probably still wouldn't have scored, to be honest. You know, I watched this match and I'm reminded of, you guys remember that that Tielemans interview that he did with Rio a couple weeks back, and he said in that interview that there's been very little focus on fitness in training this summer, and there's been more focus on ball work, which is concerning. You know, you guys remember it was a concern of mine last season. I did 2 videos on Michael Carrick. You remember I did the case for and against keeping Michael Carrick, and one of my arguments for against was the lack of focus on the fitness, the little bit of the soft approach to coaching and management with the players. Too many days off, too short trainings and stuff. Like these players need to be fit. This is the Premier League. You literally statistically don't get as much time on the ball. It is more intense. And what we saw yesterday was so far below the standard of where these players need to be, where Premier League players need to be, and where really any footballer needs to be. It doesn't matter what level. It was so far below that it's not even funny. Carrick and the squad need to fix up. They need to get fit, because if they show up against Ipswich, who did just beat Sunderland, by the way, today, if they show up against Ipswich the way they showed up against Hull, could be 6 points dropped in back-to-back against 2 newly promoted sides to start our season, giving us a bit of a hill to climb. We had statistically the easiest start to the season here, and we've made it way more difficult than it needs to be. It's not panic stations. I'm not panicking. I'm not writing off the season. I'm not saying Carrick out. I'm not saying sell this player, that player. This is a flop. What did we spend money on? I'm not saying any of that. If you are saying that, I just relax for a bit. This is why I used to do these match reactions a day later, so we can get out of our feelings. But it's not panic stations. But the on-pitch performance, the display we saw, is so far below acceptable. It is concerning, is what I'll say. It's nothing that can't be fixed, but it's all up to Carrick, and it's all up to the players, it's all up to the coaching staff, and it's on Ineos. If we're lacking legs, bring in legs. If we're lacking fullbacks who can get up and down the pitch, bring in a fullback who can get up and down the pitch. If we're lacking an adequate backup or rotation or competition for Shesko, get a player who can do that. It's not rocket science, and the money is there. We know you have it. If Rashford's not in the plans, like Simon says, tell him and his agent to tell his agent to do his job and get him out of the club. If Xerxes not in the plan, expedite the exit process. It's not difficult to do. We do make it difficult because we pay Rashford a lot of money. Like, it's not a whole lot of clubs can or want to take that on. There's very few, but again, it doesn't matter. Take the loss. Like, it just doesn't matter. You know, and honestly, the less said about Hull dicing us up with triangles and one-touch play through midfield, the better. There was a period of play where the one-touch got them from like one box to the other, and it looked like prime Barcelona. Like, it's embarrassing the way we play today. What's this poll at, you guys? 18 votes are there. I better see 18 likes if we got 18 votes. 18 votes, and so far left back is still your guys' pick. It sounds like a lot of you got fed up with Dogu and Shaw today. Striker, I think, should be up there as well. I think we'll handle the center backs next summer, or hopefully even January, but we do need to focus on that. I'm going to close the poll there, you guys. Some of you are not happy with Bruno. If you want to know my picks for, if and when the time comes to replace Bruno, I did put out that video earlier this week. You guys can go check that out. Make sure you hit the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. If there's anybody I missed in there. There are 7 options in there. Go check them out and let me know how I did. We'll be back with a news roundup, obviously, as the news comes. Hopefully we'll get some Baleba news. Hopefully we'll get some more news as well. We definitely should be getting some more signings soon. And then obviously we have an Ipswich match preview later on in the week as well. Champions League draw will be next week, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. I will find out when I will be going to Manchester once the Champions League draw. You guys know that I always squeeze in 2 games. when we're not in Champions League, that is difficult. Dylan and I did manage to get to Boxing Day and New Year's Eve this past season, and so Champions League does make it easier. Going Tuesday, Wednesday, and then getting a weekend game, it definitely makes it a lot easier. But and I also try to squeeze in if there's any other football going on nearby within a 45-minute train ride or an Uber trip. You guys know I always go to Salford matches. I went to FA Youth Cup game 2 years ago because it lined up perfectly. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll find out what that looks like, and we'll see who's going. But if anybody you are in Manchester and you want to link up while I'm there, feel free. I did link up with Stu from the Tactical Devils channel while we were there ahead of the Wolves match, so that was a blast as well. But I'm always ready and willing. I'll buy you a pint if we do link up. But get your final thoughts in, you guys, and make sure you like and subscribe. Danny says Ipswich were way better than Hull. Ipswich have been here before. They know how to do it in the Premier League. I would say they got relegated. We were a little concerned with Ipswich right after Kieran McKenna just decided to leave for reasons, but we'll see. Trini says, all I can say is Baleba ain't changing shit. We need much more. We do need more than another midfielder, but we do need a midfielder for sure. I don't think anyone's saying Baleba is going to be the savior, and we're not Balebas, but we definitely need the legs. So once he gets in, once he gets fit, once these players get a little more fit, I expect to see something different. That's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses because there's no excuse for what we saw today. There's no excuse these players shouldn't be fit, but I think that Carrick also needs to take a look at himself and step it up a bit in training. The players, hopefully behind the scenes, hopefully in the dressing room, the players will get the hair dryer, whatever that looks like from Carrick. I don't know if it's a hair dryer or if it's just like a hand fan, but until next time, you guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Always good discussions. Just be respectful. I don't like having to time people out. Come on, timeout is for children. Please don't act that way. But you're welcome to disagree. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. Don't spam, and definitely don't put words in my mouth because I don't appreciate that. So, but there's no hard feelings. Just learn and move on, and we can all move forward amicably. But until next time, you guys, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Try not to let this ruin. You got a whole other day to enjoy. So let's just hopefully Liverpool lose to Newcastle tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But take it easy, you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. Laters.